Hey, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be doing a mid-July reptile room update because I haven't done one of these in a couple months. So I thought you might like to see all of the animals that I have right now in my room when it comes to reptiles and amphibians. Okay, so the tank I'm at right now is Olive, my female blue-tongued skink, and this is her 40-gallon, basically vivarium. There's only 2 plants. In here is a pothos and snake plant, because if you know me, well, then you're gonna know that I'm not very good with plants right now. I generally tend to kill them. So I have 2 just really easy plants in there, and I want to add more, probably more pothos, even though it's really common, but I like it. So Olive, she's in the snake plant right now. So here she is. She's been growing pretty well. I realized I think I need to feed her just a little bit more. I think she should be gaining a little bit more weight with the speed that she's growing. And she's really good with being handled. She always just freaks out a little bit at the beginning. She's extremely active. She loves eating. I feed her mealworms as her main protein. And then sometimes some sort of like wet dog food, but that's occasional. And then for fruits, her favorite fruit's probably strawberry, but since that isn't the healthiest for her, I don't give that to her very often. I give her a lot of collard greens, zucchini, broccoli, carrots. She basically eats anything as long as it has like mealworms moving around in it. And then I'll give her some calcium and vitamin D3 supplements with those. But yeah, she's really healthy. She's never had any issues. She just shed, which is nice. Yeah, her tank has been pretty easy to manage since there's only 2 plants. It has Eco Earth as a substrate. She's right by my window, so she gets a lot of sunlight. And then I have a 43 watt bulb because my room's pretty warm, so her tank is kept at proper temperatures. But yeah, this is Olive. Oh, actually, I need to figure out what kind of blue tongue she is, because the person I got her from, they thought, the person like at the booth, I got her at Repticon, he thought that she might have been a northern, but it doesn't look like she is. So here, I'll give you a close-up of the pattern and her head. So tell me what kind of blue tongue you think it is. I'm pretty sure I've narrowed it down to 2, but it's hard to tell. So in here is Goldie, my giant leopard gecko. I always mix up his name. I know he's a trimper, which is a albino patternless orange leopard gecko. This, I don't know, it's a long name, but he's cool looking. So here he is. As you can see, he's a really neat looking gecko. He's larger than your average gecko because he is a giant and he's male. He's been doing really well. When I first got him, he wasn't eating very much. He was being fed superworms by the breeder, but then when I got him, he stopped eating superworms. So I tried crickets, dubia roaches, and then mealworms, and he loves mealworms. So I give him large mealworms with calcium, and that completes his whole diet. He's in a 20-gallon, and he's been really healthy. It looks like he might be shedding soon. He's a bit duller than usual. It's always hard to tell with geckos because they always shed like in the middle of the night, and usually don't even notice because they'll eat their shed after. But he's definitely a neat gecko. He's the second animal that I ever bought, second reptile I ever bought. I always forget their ages. I have them all written down. I believe he's a couple years old, but he's been doing really well. He's been doing better with handling. He's never been a big fan of being handled, but yeah, since he's been eating really well, he's also been better with being handled. And then you can see his tank. It's a pretty simple setup with Repticarpet. He spilled some of his calcium, and then his food bowl, water bowl, humidity hide, which is important for shedding, and then his regular hide over his heat pad. And then I do have a heat lamp on him. Before you comment saying I shouldn't have a heat lamp, it's on like the very lowest setting because he's not near any of my windows, so his tank was darker, so I have just enough light on him that he knows when it's daytime. He has no nighttime lamps, and yeah, it's basically just so he knows it's light out, but it's not enough to hurt him or anything, or bother him. Okay, so Goldie's right here, and that reminded me because we're right next to this. This is the 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra terrarium that I got, that Animal Art TV sent me for me winning this contest, so thanks again, Animal Art TV. It's definitely a really cool tank, but it's been a couple weeks and it's still empty, because one, I don't have that much money, I can't, and animals can be pretty expensive. But I want to tell you, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it into a vivarium first, and then put something like a day gecko in there. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know. If you have other suggestions on what I can put in this 12 by 12 by 18, let me know. I want it to be something that can be in a pretty tropical setup, like a day gecko. Preferably reptile, amphibians, I'm fine with having 2. But let me know what you think would go well in there. to anyone watching. Next up, I've got Goldie, my corn snake, in here. Did I say Goldie or Goobie? So here's Goobie. He's an albino corn snake. If you found me through one of the festivals I went to, you probably saw Goobie, because I take him to those and you probably got to see him in person. But he's not an adult, I don't think, and I really don't know that much about him because I've had him for a year, but I didn't get him from a breeder. He's sort of like a rescue, and I actually don't even know if it's male or not. I've just been saying he. I just always have. I might get figured out one day, but for now we just assume it's a he. I won't be breeding any corn snakes, so it doesn't really matter. But he's been doing really well. He lives off adult mice right now, frozen thawed, and he loves them. He just ate yesterday, and he's just been doing really well. He grows. I should probably feed him a bit more often because I think he needs to be gaining a bit more weight. So I might change his 7-day feeding schedule to about every 5 days to make sure he's heavy enough or has enough, basically enough fat as he grows. But he's definitely doing well. He is in a 20-gallon setup with a just your generic corn snake setup, but he seems to enjoy it. I think he thrives in it. I try and take him out a lot. I give him fresh air too. But yeah, this is Goobie. Okay, so the next animal I'm showing you is actually the first reptile I got, and this is Sunny, my ball python. He's still growing. He's not quite an adult yet, but I've had him for a good few years. As you can see though, he's been kind of thickening out a good bit and growing. He sheds on basically a usual basis, and he's been eating. He's weird about eating because I started him with pinkies, and then I went up to like fuzzies, hoppers, and then adult mice, and then small rats, and he ate those for a while, but then he stopped and went back to adult mice, and then back up to small rats, and then adult mice. And I had been feeding him adult mice for the past few months, just more often, but a couple days ago he ate another small rat. So he's weird. He just goes back and forth with rats and mice and what he'll eat. And again, he has been growing, so I'm not worried about that at all. And he's always been so calm. He's like the calmest animal I have. It's kind of just ball python's nature, which is why I think they're just an awesome snake to get. He's a yellow belly ball python, so he looks pretty normal, but he has this kind of, I noticed, I didn't really understand morphs when I got him, but basically I noticed that he had much more bold colors than the normal ball pythons, so that's why I went with him, and I'm really glad I went with him because he's been really good. Also, he's in a 20-gallon, and I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but I basically redid it. It wasn't that much. I changed out his aspen chips, which those work, but when they get wet, it's kind of a pain because they get moldy and you have to replace it a lot. I replaced that with forest floor bedding. I think that's made by ZooMed. And then I just added some leaf litter and some sticks that I actually got from outside, but I sterilized those so that they're safe for him. So yeah, he has a new setup, but everything else has been really good with him and just about the same. Directly below Sunny, we've got Shadow, the black rat snake, and he finally has a name because at the most recent festival that GoHerping went to, which at the time we were still known as NC Nature News, we had this snake with us. He is wild caught. I removed him from a construction zone in the neighborhood, and he didn't have a name yet, so we let people submit names. There were almost 100 submissions, and we ended up picking Shadow. I can't remember who suggested that name, but you can see it on the site at GoHerping.com. And he still just hates being held. Now, because I've been moving around the room a bunch, just filming the other parts, he's pretty on edge right now, so I'm not going to handle him. But you can see him right here. You're also going to notice his water bowl is empty. Don't worry, I'm just about to fill that. He spills it pretty often, so I need to get him something new to replace that. But yeah, he's really neat looking. He's been kind of showing up some grayish stripes on his back. When I first caught him, he was almost completely black on his back and then white on the bottom like a normal black rat. But he's been showing up some like kind of dull stripes on his back. So yeah, other than that, he's been eating well. I feed him adult mice. No concerns there. I just am hoping that he becomes more tolerant with me handling him. So maybe he becomes an even better educational animal, because that's kind of his main focus. Okay, so right here is my toad tank. There's a couple things you're gonna notice. One, you can barely see into this tank because one, there's a window right behind it, and two, it's really dirty. You're also gonna notice the setup kind of sucks right now. I'm gonna be redoing this tank in just a couple days. I'll probably film it because it's just kind of like gotten worse. It's hard to keep up because I'm not the best at vivariums right now. I'm pretty new at that. But don't worry, I'm going to be redoing it. The toads have been healthy. I have 7 toads in here. It's a mix of oak fowlers and American, and they all eat mealworms. So a lot of people are going to say, or you might be thinking that you've seen stuff about how mealworms chew through amphibian stomachs sometimes, and there's not actually any like known cases of that really happening that I can find at least. Please send me any if you can. But I've been giving them mealworms for like a year now, and they've all been completely fine, no issues whatsoever. So yeah, they're in a 40-gallon. Tank is really sucky right now. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it better. You can see me basically building this in a previous video, but yeah, I won't take these guys out because they are amphibians. They're not a big fan of being held. But you can see there's 4 on the front right here, and I see 1 back at the water work. So don't worry, I know it sucks right now, I'm fixing it. Okay, so that's the room right now. You might remember I also have a 10-gallon I built recently. I'm gonna do a separate video on that because I have a bit more to talk about with that and more I'll be doing with that tank. So I'll save that. But other than that, all the tanks you saw are the tanks I have with reptiles and amphibians right now. They've all been doing really well. There's stuff I'm going to be fixing, stuff I'm going to be adding and changing, so I'll try and keep updating you on that. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing my animals, because I haven't done one of these in a while, and I need to feature some more often, like Olive the blue tongue. You don't see very much. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.